I want to go ahead and confess that I think we've done something wrong on this show this week, and that is we have not talked nearly enough about the Indiana Pacers. We're friends with Cam, and we've talked a lot, about the Celtics now down 2-0 to the Knicks, and Jalen Brunson, Villanova guy, right? There's your connection. We've talked about that series being really fascinating. We've even briefly, I've at least thought about, or we've mentioned the Nuggets and the Thunder. Why have we not talked about Cavs Pacers? And I'm a little embarrassed for the Pete Souza show because the only time we've talked about Tyrese Haliburton this postseason is when his dad confronted Giannis on the court after they beat the Bucks. And I don't think it's just us who are guilty of this. I think this is a larger problem in sports media right now. We are not giving Tyrese Haliburton his flowers and the love he deserves for what is happening. The Cleveland Cavaliers, mind you, finished first in the East. This is not like, some like middling playoff team. This is a team that finished over the Celtics, and we're acting more surprised about the Celtics being down than the Cavaliers. This is an unbelievable upset so far, with the Pacers being up 2-0, and of course, being up 2-0 in large part due to Tyrese Haliburton hitting a game winner. We're going to show this without audio, so don't get copyright struck, but I want to show you this game winner from 2 nights ago from Tyrese Haliburton. He gets the rebound, then comes out. Watch this. Watch his work. Step back. Boom. 1 second to go. That is what stars are made of. That kind of play right there is what we crave from our NBA superstars. That's exactly what we want out of big-time players in playoff basketball. And so I'm just struck by this today as we get ready to wrap up our week here. And we'll come back Monday and see what the series looks like. But let's contrast Tyrese Haliburton to some of the other big American stars that we've kind of anointed as the next generation of stars. Can you name a iconic playoff moment from Shai? I can't. Devin Booker? Nope. I know Jason Tatum has a ring, and I want to be respectful, but again, let's just compare what's happening in that series against Jalen Brunson, also another star we might need to give a little more credence to, versus what Tyrese Haliburton is doing. And so I don't know if it's just because Tyrese averaged 18.1 points per game this season. He's not an elite every game scorer. He was third in the NBA this season in assists. He's leading the playoffs in assists right now with over 10 a game. I'm someone who values that stat a lot. That's part of why I love LeBron James as a superstar. But what Tyrese Haliburton is doing right now in this postseason run so far is exactly what superstars are made of. It's not about your regular season numbers in the NBA, even though we do admire the guys who can put up 30 points a game. But think about the way we talk about James Harden versus the way we talk about Michael Jordan. Both guys had incredible regular season numbers, but they have radically opposite superstar status because of what they do in the postseason, right? One guy elevates, one guy shrinks. Haliburton seems to elevate when the lights get bright, when the Pacers need a big shot. By the way, Donovan Mitchell across the way for the Cavs had 48 points. They're down 2-0. So, I think we talked a couple weeks ago about narratives in sports media, the narrative around Shedeur Sanders that was perhaps unfair. I think there's been a really unfair narrative around Tyrese Haliburton, even when he was selected for the Olympic team, of why is this guy on the team? Worst player on the Olympic team. And then he's an all-star, and it's man, that's the most boring all-star. And now all we've talked about this postseason so far is his dad, and that's embarrassing. So I will be paying a lot more attention this weekend to the Pacers and the Cavaliers and Tyrese Haliburton. By the way, Pete Souza show, we're pretty unapologetically Big 12 centric, right? Pete covers Big 12 for ESPN. We're here in Waco. We talk a lot of Baylor, BYU, a lot of Big 12 action. This is a Big 12 kid, Iowa State basketball player. So he deserves our attention. He deserves our praise. And I want us to do better on this show. And I think you should do yourself a favor and start putting Tyrese Haliburton kind of next to Anthony Edwards in the conversation of young superstars rather than another level below.